97.3. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Oh, flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let's see, relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. Where we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the Traffic Avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the Traffic Avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou, and tonight I'm here with
Akosia Otre.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
The national total is 251,149, meaning the commission has been doing an average of 45,000 per day.
Electoral Commission registers 200,000 Ghanaians within the first week of the limited voter registration exercise. We'll have an update for you on Eyewitness News. Also coming up, NDC MPs express anger over the appointment of NPP parliamentary candidate for Mansour Kwanta Chunebo Akodia as the new managing director of the National Investment Bank NIB 6 months into the elections. And later on Eyewitness News, we'll go to the Isutifi South constituency, where the NDC MP there, Collins Dauda, was arrested by the police over the weekend for engaging in registration-related offences. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
African leaders push for investment in fintech space to drive economic development.
That's from the City Business Desk. In some 50 minutes from now, Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a host of affiliate stations, including on Jirapa 96.1 FM in Jirapa in the Upper West region and Tumpani Radio 88.5 FM in Nadoli, in the Upper East region on Rekas 92.1 FM, in Bongo Namo, in the Northern region on North Star Radio 92.1 in Tamale. In the Northeast region, we are on Nobia 98.1 FM in Nalerugu. In the Western region, we are on Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady and Sky Power 93.5 FM also in Takrady. In the Ashanti region, we are on Focus 94.3 FM on the campus of KNUST in Kumasi and Orange 107.9 FM also based in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we are live on Stella Radio 97.1 FM in Dabala and Holy 98.5 FM in Aplao. In Savannah region, we're on Kasha 99.5 FM in Damongo. We're live on YouTube, that is CityTube. We're on citynewsroom.com, that's our website. We're also on Facebook Live. You can watch what's happening in the studio. And we are interactive. Join us with your WhatsApp messages 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Alternatively, you can go on Twitter, now known as X, and send your messages using the hashtag City Newsroom. My handle is at Umaru Sanda. You can send a tweet as well to at City973. This Eyewitness News broadcasting from number 11 Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. We are also around the globe on City Newsroom. NewsroomNigeria@gmail.com. Let's settle for details of our stories now. And the first one has to do with the Electoral Commission. And Akosia has that story.
Yeah, so the Ahafuano Southeast District Security Council today met the leadership of the New Patriotic Party and National Democratic Congress. So this followed a clash between supporters of both parties at Edujama in the ongoing voter registration exercise.
That's a story we'll be going to later. But before then, the Director of Business Operations at Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, has chastised the presidency for the appointment of a parliamentary candidate of the governing New Patriotic Party for the position of Managing Director of the National Investment Bank, NIB. Chunibo Akodiafoko, who is the NPP parliamentary candidate for Manso Nkwanta, was recently appointed MD of NIB, raising concerns from some civil society organizations and the opposition NDC. Reacting to the appointment of the new MD of the bank, the economist and Director of Operations at Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, believes the new MD cannot handle the day-to-day activities of the bank and his parliamentary ambitions simultaneously. Let's listen to him.
In another month or two, the election campaign will go into full gear. Will he be able to apply himself to the demanding requirements of being a CEO of an important bank in Ghana and the equally demanding requirements of campaigning in an election? I don't know. In fact, I dare say I don't think so. In any case, what is the end game here? His party elected him as a parliamentary candidate. They expect him to succeed. So if he succeeds as a parliamentary candidate and gets to enter parliament on the next in January next year, he can't hold those two positions. So was this meant as a stopgap? At a time when NIB needs all hands on deck? I'm not sure. I dare say maybe His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo needs to relook at all the ramifications and perspectives on this appointment.
So that's Joe Jackson. He's Director of Business Operations at Dalex Finance. One of many voices having a difficulty with the appointment of Chunibo Akodiafoko as the new Managing Director of the National Investment Bank, NIB. He is the NPP parliamentary candidate for Manso Nkwanta in the Ashanti region. One other voice that is concerned about this is the Bolgatanga Central Member of Parliament, Isaac Adongo. He is a ranking member on the Finance Committee. He's joined us on the line. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Good evening to you and good evening to your listeners tomorrow.
Now, when the president goes into an election, he is the president of the republic and also the presidential candidate of his governing or of his party that he represents. If you have no difficulty with a president or a president being a presidential candidate, why do you have a difficulty with a parliamentary candidate taking up a job?
Well, the presidency is the creation of politics. It is the creation of the Constitution, and it is a political office. The managing director of a bank is not a political office. That is the difference between the president being a flag bearer and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, because that is the creation of the Constitution. It was created to be a political office. But the MD of a bank is not a political office. So we cannot be confusing the two. What I have seen the president do is to consistently show lack of faith and the desire to save NIB from its numerous challenges. What it has done now is to turn NIB into a political financing machinery for a parliamentary candidate. And he doesn't care what that does to the resources of the bank. But it is not only that. Even with the Bank of Ghana, Felix Addo, a renowned accountant, one time the country manager of Pricewaterhouse, his competence is not in doubt. But this is about the second or third time that the Bank of Ghana is appointing him as an advisor to NIB. What happened to the previous appointment? What is there? What is there that he's going back to do? What has he not finished? And if I were him, such a professional, I will reluctantly decline my involvement with NIB because it simply doesn't make sense. for you to go there and advise a bank on the first instance, second instance, and what we have is a bank that is the most ill-capitalized in our country, a bank that is virtually insolvent, and all that they are doing at this point in time is simply say that, look, the IMF program is saying that, look, before you can get the next chance, show commitment that you want to resolve the issues with NIB. So let's appoint a new managing director. Let's appoint a new advisor to NIB. Let us send a token of about 1.9 billion as part payment for recapitalization and go and show to IMF. This is what we have done. This is the effort we are making. We have sacked the old MD. We have brought a new one. We think that will lead to a new leadership. Never mind that he's a political person. Never mind that he's politically exposed. Never mind that he's a parliamentary candidate. Never mind that exposes the funds, that 1.9 billion that we are sending there. It appears to me it is to find a way back to the MPP for political financing of 1 billion, 1.29 billion. And so you put a political machinery there to make sure that you dissipate those resources. But on top of that, you get rewarded by IMF. That then sends you another amount of money for fulfilling certain obligations that are in your agreement. This is very, very terrible for our country. And the bank deserves better, and the people of Ghana deserve better.
It's interesting you say that when I asked you the question about juxtaposing the two, you said the presidency's job is a political one. It makes sense. But isn't our government, the very nature of it, very also political? Everybody you expect to play a neutral role or an independent role is put there by a politician anyway, starting from the central bank governor himself, who is appointed by the president, who is partisan. So if it is okay for the president to appoint a BOG boss whose political leanings you may not know, but of course there's a possibility that the president is choosing someone he's comfortable with, why do you then have a difficulty when a bank that is regulated by this same central bank governor is getting an appointee or an MD being appointed, which MD is a politician, an active one as that? Is it your difficulty that the new MD is colored blue, or your difficulty is that he wouldn't have enough time to concentrate on the bank because the distance from NIB headquarters to Manson Kwanta in the Ashanti region is a lot of kilometers?
So, one, you answer my concern by admitting that the NIB as a difficult bank requires a turnaround specialist that will put in the necessary effort and time to turn that bank around. Nobody can do a part-time job at Bank of Ghana, at the NIB, by combining that difficult task of turning around a patient in coma back to life, and at the same time focus on other things such as your own interest of becoming a member of parliament. So that already tells me that your priority will be to secure your mandate as a member of parliament and leave the bank to die in comatose. That is a bigger problem. But remember also that when we enter politics, there are certain positions that immediately we consummate our position, we are not even allowed to take up. For instance, no member of parliament can become the managing director or a CEO of an institution. By mere fact of the fact that you simply do not have the time and the capacity to share those 8 hours of your time between two financial institutions and your role as a member of parliament.
But has he complained? You are crying more than the bereaved. Perhaps he has the expertise. Don't we have? Just a second, Honorable.
Yeah.
Do we not have MP board members who are actively campaigning to be retained? Don't we have ministers who are also parliamentary candidates? They do not leave their jobs as ministers, but they are able to go and campaign and win their elections. Why is this one special and different?
Board members are not executive day-to-day administrators of an institution. That is the difference. A board member merely does not perform official day-to-day administrative executive function of the bank. You are looking at somebody who is not going to be a board member, who would only appear to take decisions that will lead to the direction of the company once in a while, probably maybe once in a quarter. But you are talking about somebody who is supposed to immerse himself in the day-to-day administration of the institution. And you go for a part-timer who has to spare his time between the bank and that of his most important function of wanting to become a member of parliament. And you think that is right. That is how you treat a patient. That is how you treat a patient basically on oxygen and expect that patient to survive. Clearly, it means you are facilitating his death. But don't also forget that we know that when you are politically exposed in an election year and you are appointed the managing director, and in addition to that, that politically exposed person is to manage 1.9 billion of new injections. What you have simply done is that you have handed 1.9 billion to your political financing and not to the bank. But that is not what we are looking for. We are looking for 1.9 billion that will go towards recapitalization and that will lead to the growth and survival of the bank and not to finance political activity. And that is what we have simply done. We'll set everything up to ensure that we send 1.9 billion and dissipate it to finance political activity. And you don't see anything wrong with that.
What is the proper process of this appointment? Because the bank has made the announcement. Does it have to be ratified anywhere? Does the House of Parliament have to have a say in this? Who ultimately can reverse this if there's need to reverse it at all? And where can there be a scrutiny of it if there ought to be a scrutiny?
That reversal has to happen at the board level. The president has signaled who he wants to be the MD, and it is up to the board of directors to take the processes and steps to ensure that they comply with the internal regulatory activities of the bank in order to secure that appointment. And we expected that the Bank of Ghana governor would have been very mindful of the fact that this is an ill-conceived appointment. This is an appointment that is injurious to the health of the bank, and it is an appointment that does not guarantee that this bank will be in safe hands, and therefore would have declined the appointment of this man. But he himself has approved it. He has also gone ahead to approve another advisor who has been there many times and has achieved no results. The end result is that both of them, this man was a deputy managing director. This is why they brought the bank on its knees. In fact, we had to undertake press conference upon press conference. I can tell you that at one point they had taken a decision to kill that bank. And it had to take me and my team to undertake a press conference at the last minute. And you recall the fallout that I had with the then managing director, who I'm happy he's now been sent home to go and have his peaceful retirement and not a retirement in that bank. Now, what is the difference? Having a retiree struggling to hold the bank, or a political appointee who is focused on becoming a member of parliament and creating an avenue for political party financing and killing the bank slowly with poison? Which one is better? It's unfortunate that these people just don't think about us. They think about how to win power. They think about how to save themselves and not the institutions that they came to inherit. And I'm very sorry for NIB. I don't see any way out. I cannot wait for a new leadership under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to rewrite the wrong and put the right people in place and the right structures with a genuine effort to save that bank and reposition it as one of the most enviable banks that we can ever have in our country.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Bolga Central MP and ranking member on the Finance Committee, Isaac Adongo. Now, his anger tonight is because of this statement that was circulated among staff of NIB. And I'm going to read it for you. It says, "Dear team, I'm thrilled to share some significant updates regarding our bank's leadership. Effective May 13th, 2024, Mr. Chinibu Akodia Foko will assume the role of Managing Director, appointed by the majority shareholder. With his extensive experience, Mr. Foko is poised to lead us into a successful future. He succeeds Mr. Samuel Sapon, whose guidance has been pivotal since May 2019. In addition, Mr. Philip Ofori Asante has been nominated as Deputy Managing Director, following in Mr. Foko's footsteps. Mr. Ofori Asante brings considerable banking expertise, and we look forward to introducing him to the team at the appropriate time. Rest assured, the restructuring and transformation efforts we've initiated will persist under Mr. Foko's capable leadership. With the invaluable guidance of the board and Mr. Foko's vision, working closely with management, we anticipate a seamless transition and ongoing progress. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Sapong for his unwavering dedication and exceptional contributions. His leadership has positioned NIB favorably, instilling confidence in our clients and majority shareholder to further invest in the bank. Despite challenges, Mr. Sapong, alongside the board and executive management, ensured the bank's stability, a feat we are particularly proud of considering the constraints imposed by the Bank of Ghana. As we look forward to the bank's recapitalization, I am confident in your dedication and hard work to drive our collective success. Warm regards, Kofi Setre, Chairman. So this is a statement that was sent to NIB staff, circulated among the NIB staff. Now, it is important to pay attention to paragraph 3 of this statement. I'm going to lift that for emphasis. It says, in addition, Mr. Philip Ofori-Asante has been nominated as Deputy Managing Director, following in Mr. Foku's footsteps. Now, what this means is that Mr. Foku, the man who has been named the Managing Director, was a Deputy Managing Director. He's been promoted. He's the MPP parliamentary candidate for Manso Nkwanta in the Ashanti region. The man who is replacing him, Mr. Philip Ofori-Asante, was the NPP parliamentary candidate for the Formina constituency in the elections of 2020. He was a person that the MPP sponsored to fight the now Deputy Speaker of Parliament, which Deputy Speaker of Parliament won that seat as an independent member of Parliament or independent candidate. So it's just some information for you on the NIB. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Messages that you've been sending through, I'll be taking them after this break. Please stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
In a world where only the best survives, you need a fuel that can match your drive. A fuel with unparalleled protection for your engine, superior efficiency, and unrivaled performance. A fuel so unbeatable, when you get behind the wheel, you'll focus on what really matters. The journey ahead. That fuel is Shell V-Power, because no other fuel gives your engine better protection, better efficiency, and better performance. Be unbeatable. Drive unbeatable. Shell V-Power. Shell, go well.
Electroland Ghana Limited is giving its May Day promotion in all its shops and authorized dealers across Ghana. Grab a Samsung Full HD 32-inch LED TV for just 2,349 Ghana cedis. Get our discounted media tabletop fridge at 1,999 cedis. Buy a TCL UHD 4K Smart Android 55-inch LED TV at 6,299 Ghana cedis. And get a free Nasco 5-burner cooker. May Day promotion good. Get a Nasco 90-liter top freezer at 1,699 Ghana cedis. And if you're looking for top quality dishwashers, gas hobs, chimney knots, and electric hobs, Electrolux got you with exciting discounts as well. Rush now. Terms and conditions apply. For further information, call 050-315-9739. Electroland Ghana Limited, home of luxury and affordable appliances.
KB, yo. Hey, KB, aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Wow. KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokrom, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
You know, your Papa see that? And it's Ricky Tika. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you. Don't feel better energy.
Can't touch this.
Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that?
Yes, so
somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched.
Sancho Panza.
Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz?
No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine
younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies DA improves fuel efficiency.
Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry.
Chairman Omani.
Chairman. Hey,
Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Your message is coming through. Eric from D Chrome. I'm sure that should be Donko Chrome. I'm not sure what D Chrome is though. Or what could D Chrome be?
Donko Chrome.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Not Daddy Chrome. Okay, Donko Chrome. NPP must go. Otherwise, they will finish what is left of this country. Okay, that's Eric from D Chrome. I'm sure it's Donko Chrome in the Afram Plains area. Enjoya Bright in Newark on Trent. Hey, hold on. Let me take that again. Noja Bright in Newark on Trent in Nottinghamshire. Okay, that's far from Donko-Chrome, very, very far. It says every state institution has been politicized, from appointing partisan politicians to the courts and now the appointment of MDs to the banks. Ghana is a mess. Munir says when a president is campaigning, he's campaigning to become a president again and not something else. This man, the president just appointed, is going to be campaigning to become MP whilst holding a position as MD of a bank. Okay. Daniel from Sandema says President Akufo-Addo has proven to be a president that is only good at appointing party faithful to public offices and renaming government projects after his party members. John Terry from Sakumono, I don't know if that's John Terry Trash. He says President Akufo-Addo should know that Ghana is not a family property. Let him stick to the principles of the banking sector. In any case, what happens after the man loses? Would he continue while NDC is in power? Ghanaians will vote his party out on December 7 and Ghana will bounce back to its glory days. More messages that are coming through. Babamu in Tamale says, Honorable Isaac Adongo explained his thoughts to us, the listeners, but he ended up his thoughts with propaganda. Ghanaians will continue to reject former President Mahama in 2024 markets, he says. Baba Chairman in Tamale says that John Mahama, Mr. Adongo, is pontificating for to come and salvage Ghana, superintended over these same banks when they almost collapsed. Adongo must spare our ears with his usual cacophony.
Thank you very much, Maro. The campaign manager is the Honorable Frederick Oparian, sir.
I apologize. I was trying to give you a position so that I can use it to ask you a question on the NIB.
And the campaign chairman is the Honorable Damboche. I handled the campaign during the primaries. As you said, at that time I wasn't a parliamentary candidate. So now that I'm a parliamentary candidate, me myself, I need to manage myself before I can manage another.
You are checking yourself. So,
exactly.
So what's your position on the campaign? You're just a member?
I'm a senior campaign aide to the vice president.
Okay. Okay, that's fair enough.
So I'm a key person of this campaign.
Would I be ambushing you if I asked you why your colleague from Mansour Nkwanta has taken up a job as a managing director of NIB? Would that amount to ambushing?
Oh, not necessarily. Good evening to your cherished listeners. I think that this whole conversation must be situated in a context. First of all, he's been deputy managing director. What people don't know is he's been deputy managing director for 5 years. For 5 years. And he served under the exiting boss for 3 years. And before then, he was also deputy MD under the previous one. So if you are telling me that somebody who has been deputy managing director for 5 years has seen through the various processes, policy reforms and all, and you are telling me that after serving for 5 years, he cannot be considered for the position of the managing director, and then I find that, first of all, demeaning. I find that discriminatory, and I find that unfortunate. Are we saying that because he's a parliamentary candidate, I'm a parliamentary candidate myself, I'm managing a state institution, a strategic state institution like the National Lottery Authority. I have other colleague parliamentary candidates who are even ministers of state, CEOs and all. So one would be so new, so strange, that somebody who has served as the number 2 man for 5 years in a particular institution, not in a new institution, suffice to say that he was even moved to another institution that he has no memory, institutional memory or recollection of facts and processes or events, or has no technical know-how as to how it functions. That then we can even give that particular propaganda or perception or assertion some sort. But for somebody who has served in that same capacity, I find it unfortunate. It's the first time I'm making a comment on this matter anyway, and it's because you have asked me.
Yeah.
And I think that as a colleague, he's a very level-headed gentleman.
And he would make the time that people are raising issues about the time. I mean, moving all the way to Manson Kwanta in the Ashanti region to go and campaign, coming back to run a bank which is not particularly feeling very well at this time. That's what Isaac Adongo's complaints are, and other people too.
But I may disagree with Adongo on this point. The vice president himself is a candidate for president. The presidential candidate of the MPP is a candidate. President Mahama, when he was sitting president, was a candidate. President Akufo-Addo in 2020 was a candidate. And so if you are telling me that because he moved from one place on weekends to Manson Kwanta, what I would instead advise is if it gets to a point where he believes or he gets the feeling that it will be difficult to combine, I think he's reasonable enough to say that, I'm no longer then going to continue with one. But at this point, it's like we are only fast-forwarding the gentleman, not giving him even an opportunity to serve his nation in that capacity.
Very well.
So I disagree with anybody who will say he cannot do it because he's a parliamentary candidate. I disagree.
Thank you so much. In fact, that's not the reason we called you, but thank you anyway for sharing your views when I asked you.
Thank you for picking my mind.
Let's talk about the campaign tour of the vice president and flag bearer of the NPP now. Whereabout is he? I mean, he's doing 16 regions. How many so far?
So far, he's on the Eastern region, he's on the Western region, he's on the Western North, he's on the Ahafo. He's on Bono, he's on Bono East, and just wrapping up in the Northeast, so bringing it to 7.
I saw the video of his entry into Northeast, specifically his hometown of Wale. The crowd, very huge. Was that a rented crowd or very, very natural and you know?
I think it's a natural
organic
feeling, a natural feeling, organic. Dr. Baumia, he resonates with the people, and aside that, his affable nature, his humility, and his ability to attract people from all shapes, both the young and old, the various demographics, for him is one of his other strengths in this campaign. And I am not surprised that I saw quite a huge number of young people and residents in the Northeast coming out in their numbers, to welcome him into his home region. This election will go down to the wire. This election is an election that the MPP is prosecuting the campaign with a mentality of a party in opposition, not a party in government. So our opponent must know that they are in the ring with a formidable candidate, a formidable opponent in the person of Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, who is determined that the nation's history must be written with also the right men and women being given an opportunity to serve their nation, regardless of their faith, regardless of their creed, regardless of their orientation, regardless of their economic status, regardless of their tribe. And I believe that so far he's conducted himself well. The nature of the first phase of his tour, he takes him to the region. He calls on the faith-based leaders, the clergy, the Christian and the Muslim leaders. Aside that, then he calls on Nananom, the regional House of Chiefs, to also seek the blessings of Nananom and to also share ideas with them, put his case before them like he does with the clergy and the faith-based leaders. Then from there, he proceeds to also do some meet and greets of lorry parks, markets, and other places, and some house to house. And then around 4 p.m., which is very symbolic of his campaign, we have a feature that is a purely conversation with the young people. We call it the Baumia Youth Connect. And then around 6 p.m., which now is about starting one in the Northeast, that's when he draws the curtains down with a meeting of regional executives of the party, parliamentary candidates of the party, constituency chairman of the party, MMDCs.
And for scrapping the teacher training allowance and the nursing training allowance, this young lady said since she started being trained as a nurse, she has never received her allowance. She says they're going to start their exams in a few weeks' time. They have not received an allowance, which means they are in default. They are not able to pay their fees, and that's a big challenge. For a party that has been campaigning that you restored teacher training allowance and nursing training allowance because the insensitive Muhammad government scrapped it, you should not be indebted to the tune that we are being told about, to the extent that the vice president didn't have an answer readily available. What do you say to that?
Omaro, challenges will come and go in our governance structure. Even in many of our organizations, it's not every time that the salaries of staff are paid on or before the 30th of every month. There are times that you also experience a few delays, even in the private sector. Maybe Citi FM, you've been extremely lucky that you've never experienced any delay in salary payment, which I want to believe so. But that cannot be the story of many of the institutions across the globe. But what I do know is that even though in the face of the extreme challenges that we face, this government is still determined that the nursing training allowance that was restored will stay. The teacher training allowance that was restored will stay, and stay even in the Baumia government. The free SHS will stay. We've also taken notice that I think there are a couple of months or so that we are in arrears, and I can confidently say that just as the Vice President also indicated, together with the Ministry of Finance, we're making sure that these candidates, I wouldn't say children, these candidates, these young adults get to be paid their full benefit before they say goodbye to school. And it's something that it comes a long way to help many families, because for some of these people, that is what they even use to support their families back home. So for anybody who will say that when I come, I'm going to cancel it, then that person is a sin and an assault to the future of these young people. So yes, the MPP admits that there have been some challenges, but this is not a government that runs away from challenges, and will make sure that wherever the I's must be dotted, the T's should be crossed. We will definitely make sure that we get these payments through.
Very well. In one of the interactions with the clergy, there's something that the Vice President said about no need to tax churches and that he would give incentives to them if he becomes president. I want us to just listen to the audio for purpose of my listeners who may have not heard it, so that I can ask you to explain further. Please hold on.
Then the question is church and taxes. Are we going to tax churches? My view on this is simple. In fact, that's why I say that if you share a Juma church, in fact, we should rather be paying them rather than they paying us. Unless you don't understand the work the church has done. If you're looking at the buildings, the way they try to keep the society together, the universities, the hospitals, the schools, it's massive. It's just massive. Many churches have hundreds of schools. Massive. So I don't see, and I will not have, a situation where we are taxing churches. We rather want to give churches incentives to support what government is doing.
So that's Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the NPP flag bearer, and also the vice president. Sami Oku, is he suggesting that he's going to collect our tax money and give to the church? That's one of the criticisms I've seen people write on social media, that he's going to use our taxpayers' money to give to the church.
So, Maru, I think that in all fairness to the flag bearer of the NPP, and if you listen to this, he said, Oshe Juma Omu Aye. He was speaking in specific reference to the investments that these faith-based organizations make in partnering government for the nation's development. He goes further to state that some of these faith-based organizations, they've built hundreds of schools, and you heard him in there, hospitals, and other things that they do to support the communities, the society, and the nation. He says that if we should even be supporting and paying them rather than asking them to even pay taxes in their quest to partner government to develop. Again, he goes further to state that just as we have our developmental partners or development partners, that in most cases refers to our foreign development partners, he says these faith-based organizations can be our domestic or local partners where the government deepens cooperation with them, supports them with incentives. Because if somebody is coming down, a foreign investor or development partner wants to build a hospital, and we are in a hurry to give them tax waivers and all, then you have a church, a Muslim mission, a faith-based organization willing to do the same to partner government, and we cross the neck or hold them by the neck and say that you should pay every penny, when what he's going to do is going to help promote the development of our society and help provide some social interventions and amenities for the people. That's where he took strong position and said for him, he would prefer to support these churches, these missions, these faith-based organizations who are engaged in partnering government to develop. For me, if the Catholic Church had not built the St. Augustine's College, I wouldn't have had a school called St. Augustine's College to attend. Likewise, my colleagues who attended other mission schools and other institutions that were built by faith-based organizations. So it was clear in his language and spoke about the investment and the things that he do to support government. So there was no ambiguity in that.
Okay, so it is not as if there are going to be monthly allowances or annual allowances that will be given to the churches.
Unless what you played wasn't what he said. But if what you played was what he said, and in my interaction with him this afternoon, in fact, just a couple of hours ago, when I wanted to also know, because this is the video I heard, well, unless there was something different that he said, and you could see clearly that he was making specific reference to investment. Look, now many of these faith-based organizations have moved on from the establishment of crèche, basic school or senior high schools, and now some are even establishing tertiary institutions. The Church of Pentecost like this is now in the pursuit of building prisons. Are you saying that the prisons when it's built is only going to be used by the head of the Pentecost Church and the members of the church? No, it's for the society. It's for the common good of our society.
Very well. The last time your party promised us that there will be no taxes, we are rather going to see production. We saw taxes even on our pockets, which is the Momo that we have on our phones. What trust should the church have that this promise of yours, that you are not going to tax them and rather incentivize them, is not going to be a tax on offerings that they will be receiving in the collection book?
I honestly believe that Dr. Bami, one of his strongest currencies is that he's a man of his word. And again, under the MPP administration, I don't think we have passed any law, pushed any act or bill that seeks to tax what is in the pocket of churches. No, please.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you, sir.
When is he finishing the campaign? Where next?
I think from today, he is in the Northeast. I suspect from there he'll be moving on to the Upper East as well. And let me make sure that at least I'm speaking to you with something that there's so much clarity on it.
No, if you don't have it offhand, it's fine.
So he's currently in the office. He'll be heading to Savannah and then to the northern region. So Savannah on the 15th, northern on the 16th, and then he does Upper East on the 17th.
And the reception is good. You are going to Savannah. You scared?
In the last elections, there are 7 seats that were up for grabs in the Savannah. That's the home region of the NDC's leader of the party and the former president. Out of the 7 seats, the MPP had 3, the NDC had 4. In the northeast region, the MPP had 4, NDC had 2. Rest IPSA Loquita.
The fact speaks for itself. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Sami Owoko there is a senior campaign aide of the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaign. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Akosia.
Now, the Member of Parliament for Esutefi South, Collins Dauda, has been granted bail after he was arrested for his alleged involvement in some disturbances at a registration centre on Saturday, May 11, 2024. A statement by the police over the weekend indicated that the NDC MP was detained in connection with the disturbance during the limited voter registration exercise in Kukuom in Ahafo region, where one person was injured and subsequently hospitalized. But the leadership of the NDC has stated that the MP committed no crime in the disturbances which ensued. Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jimfi, condemned the arrest and urged the police to focus their efforts on apprehending the true perpetrators.
He was immediately granted bail, and so currently he's on bail. And the police say that they are, conducting their own investigations and that he will hear from them. At no point was Honorable Collins Dauda present at the scene. He was not there because he was busy in his constituency monitoring the registration process. So it came to us as a shock, as a surprise, when the police issued that statement, creating an impression as though Collins Dauda has committed a crime when they knew that he was not even at the scene when the said incident happened.
That was National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jimfi.
Apreku Lati is the Ahafo Regional Communications Director of the NDC. He's joined us on the line. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you.
Okay, let me just be sure. This place that the violence occurred at is what? Is it Kukuo? Is that in your constituency? Is that in Esutefi South, Collins Dauda's constituency?
No, please. That is Esunafo South.
Esunafo South.
Yeah, Okuku's constituency.
Okay, so his constituency is Esutefi South. Are they neighbors? Do they share boundary?
No, they don't share boundary.
Okay, so
if we want to travel from Esutefi South to Esunafo South, we have to pass through Esunafo North. That is the regional capital. The constituency of the Deputy Minister for Sport, Honorable William, before you get to Esunafo South.
I see. So this violence was supposed to have happened in Kukuom, which is in Sunafo South. Okay.
Yeah.
How come your MP from Esutefi South then was picked up? I've heard your National Communications Officer say that he was in his constituency when the event occurred. Do you know what happened in the constituency in Kukuom, and how come they connected it to him?
Yeah. We are all surprised when we heard the press release from the Ghana Police Service that the MP has been arrested, and how they tried to link the MP for Esutefi South, Honorable Alayi Consorda, to the incident that happened at Kukum, which is the district capital for Esunafo South. Prior to the beginning of this registration exercise, we had a meeting with the police. And we were informed that no political party to make any attempt to provide security or whatsoever at the registration center. And the security details for the registration center are the duties of the Ghana Police Service and their allies. We all agree. So the registration exercise started peacefully, right from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, until Saturday, when all of a sudden, men dressed in military-like attack with masks appeared at Kukum EC's office. These tasks were being led by one Anointing and Akwesi Sofo, who are known, they were not in masks, who are known to be associated with the regional minister. They are known to be associated with the regional minister.
They were there at exactly 10 a.m. in the morning, terrorizing people at the registration center. Struggle with the police personnel who were providing security at the registration center. Beating prospective registrants perceived to be NDC supporters. The assembly member for the area was beaten, and his name is Honorable Atta. One of our coordinators, ward coordinators, was beaten. His name is Abu. Our regional youth organizer, who came from that constituency and was serving as the NDC agent, was attacked. Official complaints were made at the Kukom police station. Those who were beaten, police medical report forms were issued to them. So this exercise continued until 3 p.m. when the security at Kukom, referring to the police command, called for reinforcement from the regional hierarchy. And what actually exacerbated the attack was that some people came to the registration center to register, and these tax drove them away from the registration center. Some police personnel and the district DNI realized that what they were doing were no good. So they chased those people who had been driven away by this tax and brought them back. And the tax said, oh, okay, we have driven them away. You are men. You have decided to bring them back. That was what actually exacerbated the whole thing. So what ensued at the initial stage was even between the police personnel and the tax. The regional minister, who is a research chairman, the regional security council chairman, was there. The district chief executive, as the chair for DISEC, who doubles as the MPP parliamentary candidate, was there. The security personnel, knowing that these tasks are being controlled by the regional minister, they went to the regional minister and informed him that this is what your men are causing on the ground here. So we beg you, take them away. The regional minister did had a conversation with this group. Whatever ensued between the regional minister, the DC, and the CAS, nobody knows. But he stood there, he had a chat with them, thinking that he was going to take them away. He left them there for them to continue what they were doing there. Until 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. That our men who were going around to monitor the election got there. So the police personnel told them that they were going to handle the situation so that the NDC men should go back from where they were coming from. They agreed. And when they were about to leave, the MPP tax drove straight from the EC office to where the NDC men were there. When they were about to move their car, he broke their car with his car. And the moment he broke their way, he opened the car door and pulled out the gun and started shooting. That's what happened.
So the MP was not there. Was his vehicle at least there?
He was not there.
But was his vehicle or his aides or any assigns there?
Good. When the regional police command, together with the National Director of Operations, Deputy Director of CID, when they called the MP to the regional headquarters, I was there with the MP. What they asked was that, per their report, the car in which the supposedly NDC people were in, one of them belongs to the MP, a pickup. And he said, yes, per the number they quoted, that car belongs to him. But he has not been the one using the car. In political, it's normal. Honorable Haruna Idusu can give me a car to be used in Canada. It doesn't mean that the Honorable Haruna Idusu himself is in Canada or at any point in time. He knows where the position of the car. So the MP has said that the car number you have quoted belongs to me. But it is not the car I am using. That car is in the possession of somebody. They asked him the name and he mentioned the name to them.
Very well. Let's leave it here. So the police are continuing the investigations. We'll be following it to see what happens. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thanks.
That's Apreku Lati. He is AHAF Regional Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll be back with the latest in the world of business and then point blank. Please stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
KB, aka Kube
Boga now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Wow. KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokrom, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
There are some classy celebrations that calls for whipping out your favorite China sets. Same goes for your luxury vehicle. Just any engine oil won't do. Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties is the one for your premium car. It's a fully synthetic motor oil designed using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power, leaving your pistons cleaner than a whistle, up to 50% more than the industry standard, and gives you stronger, long-lasting engine performance. So, if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance.
Are you a contractor, builder, or a proud homeowner with an eye for quality and security? Well, look no further than Yale. Yale is a trusted name in security for over 180 years. When it comes to securing your home or business, trust Yale. We make security simple, and we're right here in the heart of Accra, Ghana. Visit our stunning showroom on 11th Lane Street, Inosu, Accra, and discover a world of premium Yale products, including door hardware, handles, and door locks that will elevate the security and style of your space. Whether you're building from scratch or renovating, Yale has the perfect solution for you. Our products are known for their durability, innovation, and most importantly, your peace of mind. Visit us today and experience the Yale difference. Your security, our priority. Yale, locking in your peace of mind.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
You're welcome to City Business News and Eyewitness News. The business news is brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Akosia Otre. Let's settle for details of our stories now. African governments have been challenged to recognize the potential of fintech in driving economic development by working to eliminate policy barriers hampering the full harnessing. All the continent can leapfrog and surmount its challenges by investing in the space in order to compete globally with developed countries. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo threw the challenge to his counterparts at the opening of the inaugural 3i Africa Summit here in Accra.
We must harness the transformative power of fintech and digital innovation. We must embrace the technologies that are reshaping the global economy and make them work for us, tailoring them to the unique needs and challenges of our diverse and dynamic continent. Governments across Africa should invest heavily in the digital infrastructure that will form the backbone of our shared prosperity. We must create policies that foster innovation, encourage entrepreneurship, and attract investment from both within and beyond our borders. We must promote interoperability to reduce transaction costs and delays, tearing down the silos that have hindered our progress for too long. And we must leverage the power of digital identity programs, such as the Ghana Card, to improve access to financial services, reduce fraud, and create a more inclusive and equitable economic system.
Well, that's President Akufo-Addo speaking there. The government has also assured of providing the conducive environment for the new era, stressing that need for strategic collaboration. Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam is Finance Minister.
Realizing the full potential of fintech in effecting substantive change necessitates concerted efforts and strategic alliances among various stakeholders, including governments, regulatory bodies, financial institutions, technology firms, and civil society organizations. We must also transcend national boundaries and forge strategic partnerships spanning sectors, industries, and jurisdictions to make meaningful progress. Around that objective, the 3I Africa Summit is an essential conduit for promoting industry best practices, facilitating knowledge exchange, fostering talent mobility, and facilitating resource sharing. Undoubtedly, for Africa to realize our development ambitions, we must all coalesce around an African agenda that delivers capital by leveraging public-private partnerships, venture capital, impact investing, and donor funding. An agenda that delivers investments in digital infrastructure, extended mobile network coverage, and establish broadband networks for widespread fintech adoption and financial inclusion in underserved areas, and an agenda that delivers regional fintech hubs and innovation clusters to bridge the digital divide and ensure equal opportunities for everyone to use technology.
Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam is Finance Minister. Now, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ituahene has questioned the Bank of Ghana on whether Trinibua Kodria Fuku has satisfied the minimum requirements for the appointment of the Managing Director of the National Investment Bank, NIB. Or the banking consultant further inquired whether the appointment sits well with the central bank's Fit and Proper Persons Directive, which stipulates financial integrity, reputation, academic qualification, and conflict of interest as the minimum requirement. In an interview with Citi Business News, the banking consultant urged the Bank of Ghana to confirm the approval of the new MD.
There is a fit and proper test criteria which Bank of Ghana ensure compliance. All that I'm saying that, has he passed the fit and proper test regulatory framework? If it's fine. And if it's so, they should also they will tell you it's a confidential information, but people are now talking about expression. So they should come out and say, oh yes, we have done it, he has passed it. And I think it will sit well with people. But we sitting out don't know what they have done.
You heard a banking consultant, Dr. Richmond Ituahene. Now, the agricultural subsector's performance in 2023 witnessed a decline in its contribution to the overall non-traditional exports earnings. Now, the earnings of this subsector decreased from $511.27 million in 2022 to $496.82 million in 2023, marking a 3.02% drop in export revenue. Or this decline signifies a reduction in the value of agricultural exports for the year under review. Or the following report has more.
Traditional export report by the Ghana Export Promotion Authority on the agricultural subsector indicates that cashew nuts emerged top as the top agriculture produce earner, raking in a little over $263 million and consequently contributing 53.14% to the total subsector's earnings. However, this was a 10.43% reduction from the little over $294 million in earnings recorded in 2022. This decline was attributed to fluctuations in the global cashew demand and a decrease in consumer demand. Banana exports also saw a significant increase of 55.95%, representing a little over $56 million in earnings for 2023 over the $36 million in earnings for 2022. This suggests an increase in production and market access for bananas. Soya beans experienced a rise in exports in 2023, driven by demand from the United States. It earned the country $33 million compared to the 2022 figure of a little over $10 million. The increase in demand for soya beans was attributed to factors such as health trends, dietary shifts, industrial applications, globalization and environmental considerations. The exports of onions and shallots saw a remarkable surge with a growth rate of 576.77%, translating into a little over $4 million compared to the previous period figure of a little over $611,000. This significant increase underscores a substantial expansion in both market demand and production capacity. There was notable heightened demand for shallots in EU, driven by the reduced production in India, a key producer and distributor to the EU market. Shea nuts saw a rise in earnings during the period under review, driven by strong demand.
That was a news desk report on the agri subsector contained in the 2023 non-traditional export report by the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. Well, the Ghana National Cocoa Farmers Association is appealing to the Ghana Cocoa Board to expedite the release of several rehabilitated farms that were poised to be handed over to beneficiary farmers 2 months ago. Well, the initiative, according to Cocoa Board, is aimed at shoring up cocoa production and translating into more returns for farmers and other stakeholders. Well, speaking to Citi Business News, a member of the association, Matthew Blay, emphasized the urgent need for their farms to enhance productivity.
The cocoa will start to germinate and the weeds will cover it, and they will come a weed and then cut the cocoa trees down. Then another year they will replant it again. We say no, how the things go, they should allow us to plant something in so that the cocoa can grow well. They say no, we are not allowed to go into the farm to work because they, the extension officers, are the one to work in the farm. We say, okay, as I'm talking to you now, it's 3 years now. When you go to the farm, you see what is there. It's all weeds. And recently, the agri officer told me that they wanted to come and hand over to us. In fact, it was a tug of war. All of us, more than 8-9 people that are there. In fact, it's not easy. You see, we are not going to allow them, we are not going to agree for the work to be handed over to because there's no cocoa. We cannot even count 2030 in this land.
You had a member of the National Cocoa Farmers Association, Matthew Mosu Blay. Well, that's it for Citi Business News and Eyewitness News, brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan. Make the big move and dream a reality. My name is Akosi Altredo. Stay with us. Up next is Point Blank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
When you want to eat, just Momo it. Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Shani Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Papa!
Bobo, so how your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched.
Sancho Panza.
Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz?
No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer.
Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency.
Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation Movement World Cup like that? Sorry.
Chairman.
Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the whole family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
On Eyewitness News, my name is Umaru Sandamadu. On Point Blank, well, if you live in Accra, then you would have known that it's been raining for the past 2 hours or so, and you do know what happens when it rains in Accra. The consequence, ugly. First, there will be flooding. Second, there will be gridlocks. Third, the drains would regurgitate or vomit out all the waste we've been dumping in them. 4, we'll see people dumping refuse in the drains when it's raining. They do not want to pay the refuse collector to take the refuse, so they wait for the rainy day and dump the refuse. Again, the silt in gutters would come up on the roads, causing problems and difficulties. In fact, on the Kasua stretch, it is not unusual to see vehicles using the Accra-Kasua side of the road and leaving the Kasua-Accra side of the road because it has become muddy. And that's actually the problem that we're going to talk about. There's a construction work happening on the Accra Cape Coast Road. This morning on the City Breakfast Show, we spoke about the congestion, the gridlock that we see. But tonight we are hearing that that problem is compounded by the rains. Already, traveling to Kasua is a problem for people who live there. And I'm referring to the gridlock, the traffic jams. Now we are told that because of the rains, it's even more problematic. Let's go on the lines and speak to one of the residents in that area who is struggling, having to travel from Accra, headed home tonight. It's Roxy. She's Roxy. She lives in that area. Roxy, you're welcome to Citi FM.
Hello, welcome.
Where are you currently? And tell us what you are seeing or what's happening.
Okay, so currently I'm at the SCC off Kasua Road.
Okay, and what is happening there?
At the moment, the road has been inundated with flood water, rendering both sides of the road impassable. Commuters are forced to abandoned vehicles, and then they are tracking to their destination due to the extensive blockage of the road.
I see. When did you start the journey home? Where did you get to before you ran into this problem?
Okay, I got to Barrier, heading towards Kaswa, so FPC, before you get to FPC, and then before you get to West Coast Mall.
So
in between.
So you got to Barrier around what time?
Okay, so I got to Barrier around 3 o'clock.
And
3 o'clock.
And you have been there since, or you've managed to move out of the place?
Actually, I've been there since, but I got a good Samaritan who was just passing at the back of the West Coast Mall, and then he held me through the main road. So I'm walking back to Kaswa.
So it means that cars are not able to move. You have to get off the... Were you using a trotro, or what was happening?
Yes, I'm using a trotro, and then there are blockages. The flood water has choked the road, and then you can't go and then you can't come. There is no car going in, and there's no car coming out.
Now, is this a usual thing that when it rains this happens, or this is the first time you are seeing something like this?
This has been occurring anytime there is rainfall.
So what, the whole road? So it means the whole road is full?
The whole road is choked and blocked. There is no car going in and out. If you are coming from Cape Coast to Accra, you have to sleep on the way. You can't go. And then if you are coming from Accra to Kaswa, you can't come. There is a huge traffic here on the road.
That is serious then. So people move in the cars when they... Where exactly is the problem? Where exactly is this problem?
Okay, so it's in between Barrier and then SCC.
I can hear an alarm in the background, or a siren in the background. Is that police or is that ambulance? What's happening?
Yes, so this is an ambulance. Yeah, this is an ambulance trying to bring somebody to a clinic around the West Coast Mall. When you pass West Coast, there is an hospital at the Wager, Bawe Hospital. So that is where they are sending the person to. But because of the traffic and then the huge blockage of the road, the person can't be migrated to the place.
So it means the ambulance is stationary. They cannot move. They cannot continue the journey.
They are stationary. Yes, they can't move.
It is almost 7 p.m. I'm sure it is dark there now. How are people managing in the darkness and in the floods?
Okay, so we are trekking on the roadside, and it's not safe for us. I walked from the one mall. Now I'm at home, almost at Kaswa. I walk, so it's not easy for us all. We are trekking one by one. A person and the family, man, woman, children, 2 children, they are all walking, trekking to Kaswa.
I see. So how long have you been working for now? 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours?
Okay, I can say it's almost 2 hours, 3 hours.
And you are not the only one walking?
No. We have 2 children, workers who are close from their workplaces, and then they are going back to their home. They are all searching.
What about people who are coming from Kaswa to Accra? Are they able to move?
No, please.
So no car is going through the water at all, or some are managing to go through?
Some are managing to go, but you can't go because the middle part of the road is choked. Because they are constructing a gutter right behind, almost right behind the West Coast Mall. So there is a lot of sand on the road. So they can't go in and then come out. Those coming from Cape Coast, Kaswa, they are stuck in between the West Coast and then the toll booth.
That is serious. Please stay safe. It means that you have a long journey home tonight.
I have a long way to go tonight.
I'm sorry about that. Please stay safe out there.
Thank you.
That's Roxy. She lives around Kaswa, speaking to us there. She encountered the flood situation. She actually works with our sales department. Been trying to go home all evening and has been stuck in traffic. And you've heard her report there. There are so many other people who are giving us, and I'm looking at the videos that are coming through. Very, very devastating scenes as we are seeing there. Let's go on the phone line, speak to Jacob. Jacob is also stuck somewhere on that particular stretch. Jacob, what can you report?
Good evening, Sandra. Good evening to your listeners. Sandra, can you believe that from McCarthy Junction to Wager, I spent 2 hours only on the road. The cars are not going, they are not coming back. From Kaneshi getting to Kaswa is a good luck. But from Kaswa coming to Kaneshi, that road is a little free because there's no car coming beyond West Hills Mall. So that has been the situation we are in now.
We are told that the difficulty is because of the construction that is happening. Is that can you connect the construction to what's happening?
I don't think the construction alone is enough justification for what is happening. This problem has been there for about 4 years, 5 years over now, especially or particularly from Barrier to Atala or from SCC to Atala. That has been the problem anytime it even drizzles. So you can imagine, coupled with the construction that is going on in the rainy season, you don't expect anything less than this. That's the situation we are in now.
So it means the road has been completely cut off, and so if you're moving from Accra to Cape Coast tonight, forget about it. And if you're coming from Kaswa to Accra, you better stay home.
And, to not wait for that is all.
Are vehicles managing to go through though, or there's no movement at all whatsoever?
Okay, so there are some vehicles that are managing to go through, and some are now crossing over to the other stretch of the road. So they are driving against traffic, which is also dangerous because everybody is struggling to go through. Once you get into the road, there is no turning back, there is no retreat, there is no moving forward to.
Interesting. Now, you are saying that this is a regular occurrence every time it rains. So what happens next?
It's the same thing. Nothing is done. Nothing is like we'll still be in this like that. And you will know the next day they will send some trucks to come and take some sand, win some sand off the road. And it is the same thing. Ever since over 5 years and over now. So this is what we those around this stretch of town are facing.
Are there no alternative routes that you can use so that instead of going through the main N1, which is the road that you're on?
Not at all. There is no other alternative route you can use to Kaswa. There is no other. There is no other.
What can you do, or what are you going to do tonight?
Well, I'm still stuck in traffic, and I'm just managing to get to the house. That is all I'm doing now.
Wow. I'm sorry about that, Jacob, but stay safe.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Lots of messages coming through. There's light off on the Budumburam Kaswa stretch. That's a message that Sandra has sent to us. This person, I think we're going to contact this person. He says, on the Kaswa stretch now, and it is terrible. It took me 1 hour to descend from the Malam Junction overhead. That's what he is saying. A few more other messages that are coming through. This one says, we are on the Malam Market Road, and it's a problem. That's what he's saying. This one sent me a video which is showing vehicles that are stuck, and it says, I've been in this traffic over 2 hours. That's Richard sending this particular message. And more messages coming through of people who are frustrated. Wilson is my producer. He lives on this particular stretch, which means he's going to spend the night in the office. Kobna, this particular issue that we're talking about, how bad is it? Is an annual affair?
Well, it's been a problem for a very long time. I've lived in that area for the last... I've been living there since 1999, so I know the area very well.
And every time it rains, this is what happens?
I mean, this problem started some years ago. I would say 10 years ago. And anytime it rains, it's a major problem. So it's between SEC Junction, where there's a junction just before you get to West Elsmore, to Old Barrier. Now, between SEC Junction and Old Barrier, there's a shop, there's a company there called Atala. They deal in iron rods and all that.
Roofing sheets
and iron rods and all that. So that is where the problem is. Now, because there is this sand winning activity behind the Eden Heights estate area, so there's been some erosion.
So it washes the sand and the silt onto the road.
And so all the gutters from that side are choked. And so anytime it rains, there's no way, there's no...
They've not desilted, so the water
it can't go. It just stays on the road.
Okay.
So if you are coming to town or you are coming towards from SEC towards Carnation, and unfortunately for it starts raining, and you are in the traffic between SEC Junction and Old Barrier, you are likely to lose your ride if it's a low saloon car.
Oh, the car
because it won't be able to move.
Wow.
Now this morning when I was coming to work, because it rained yesterday, 2 days ago. I think it rained 2 days ago. So part of the road, it's a 3-lane road. 2 lanes were already off.
Okay.
So this morning when I was coming to work, we had to use 1 lane.
1 lane.
And the last 2 or 3 months, they've started some construction around just before you get to West Elsmore. I don't know whether it's a gutter that they are trying to do, or they have. There's a signage there that looks like they are building new shops there. So I think they are trying to construct their own gutters in front of the shop, and that is what is causing the problem now, because that is where in the past the rainwater will flow through, but now that place has been blocked, and they've diverted the gutter onto the road. But because they've been constructing, we've seen them at work for some time now, so we thought maybe in the next 1 month, 2 months they'll be done. And then unfortunately they've not been able to complete their construction, and then this has happened.
Are you going to sleep here tonight?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll just follow you to your house.
No, I'm not going. I'm not carrying you, please.
I bet you lives in Georgia.
Okay, then maybe you have to divert there. But thank you. That's Governor Wilson. On very, very difficult night is going to be for him and all persons who live on that stretch. I think what we need to do now is to say that the Ghana Police Service kindly go there to try and restore some calm and order, because the scenes we are seeing from the videos are scary. In fact, someone is even sending me another video from La Beach Road to Teshi. It's not looking good, and this is because of the rain here. This person says, I spent 3 hours yesterday from Gomwa Fete to Kaswa. That's David sending a message. So it's really an issue, and the police kindly would have to go there and try and restore order. Because it is dark, we are told that some recalcitrant persons are also taking the opportunity to try and rob people. This one says, if I'm going to go with 2 legs, no, it says I almost lost my life there some time ago when there was a huge heap of sand on the road. It is really, really, really bad. But we have to make way now. This will be the end of Eyewitness News for tonight. My name is Umaru Sanda Amado. I did this with Akosia Ochi. Production by Governor Wilson, Beverly London, and Sami Wiafi, as well as Fred Tete Jabano, helping us here with the production tonight. Daniel Squashi giving us the technical support, and Edwin Kwakofi with the new media side of things. Up next, we have Monday Night Football, Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Bernard Abekwotri is in studio. He lives in Jowlu. There's no flooding there at all. He's very, very safe. Hello. Yeah, the man.
The man.
Hey, a big man. Oh. I thought you're in Roman Ridge, Seth.
Oh, I beg you.
And I cantonment, Labon.
I beg you.
But your place does it flood? Where you live?
No.
Hey, Charlie,